Hello everyone, Roger Lugo right here with week number 2 and my video response for this week assignment. For this week we were supposed to read a chapter for the book The Object Stares Back by James Elkin. Well, The Object Stares Back and the Nature of Seeing, that's a complete full name for the book, by James Elkins. Um, for this week video, as I mentioned last week, my oldest son, he wants to be a YouTuber, so he's gonna be helping me today with the editing and all that. He's right here with me. Andres, say hello to everyone in class. He's gonna be helping me with video editing and how to talk in front of the camera. So hopefully it's gonna go very well this week. For my video response this week, I decided to use chapter 1, which is titled Just Looking. For me, this chapter was very interesting because it deals with the fascinating idea about how really simple it is to look, but we don't really look at things. It's a little bit strange, but at the same time makes a lot of sense. When we walk in the street and we're just doing our things, we're looking everything. We think we're really looking at everything, but actually what we're doing is just seeing things. Elkins talk about how we go to places, and even when we try to look hard at things, we're missing a lot of things. So I think us as an artist, we have to take advantage of this. I think we have a way to look at things very different from other people, and I think that's what got my attention for this week's reading. But what is looking? Biologically meaning, the light rays pass through the lens, which change shape so it can bend the rays and focus on the retina. Then the cells in the retina convert the light into electrical impulses. Then the optic nerves send the impulses, creating what we see as the final image. As I mentioned before, when we walk, we think we're looking at things, but actually our brain is not capturing the message about what we really are looking or what we're trying to perceive where we walk and where we look. As I explained before, with the image about how biologically the image of the objects work in going inside our eyes and then sending the message to the brain when we walk, or for example when we look at the time, we think we're looking at the time, but actually we're just kind of like seeing the time. So this helped me to think about a thing that happens to me pretty often. Besides my background as an illustrator, I also have a background in photography, and I take a lot of pictures here locally, but also I travel different areas. But the samples that I'm going to talk about, it's about my photography here on the local area. I live in a rural town in Iowa, and a lot of people wonder where did I go, what parts of the U.S. I took some of the pictures that I took. And when I tell them that it's actually here in Iowa Falls, they wonder how did I do it or what kind of tricks I use to create such images. But I just tell them that actually I look at things in a different way. So that's why I said that this chapter for me was very intriguing, was very close to me, because that's one of the things that I try to tell people about my photography work, that it's not that I'm trying new things. I'm just pretty much looking at things differently from what people are normally used to. As we go on in the chapter, I started reading a little bit more samples about what he was really trying to say about when we look at things and we actually don't look at the same way. He gave many samples, but two of them, they were actually very interesting to me. The first one was when we go to a museum and we kind of like look at things like thinking that we know what we're looking at, and we try to actually look so people, when they see us, they think that actually we know what we're doing. So he was talking about how we go and look at painting the same way until we actually get to one that actually is gonna make us feel uncomfortable, and automatically our side or the way we look at things, it automatically will change. I think it's very, very true, because when we do things that, for example, paintings, I do a lot of figurative work, and sometimes, you have to paint things that you feel like it, and some others they're not gonna lie. So when they go walking through our pieces and they see some things, automatically they just look down or they're just gonna look away. But if you go to a museum and you see those paintings in the museum, automatically you think they're art. I mean, you're gonna know it's art. So why should you be looking at something that has no shape? For example, an abstract painting that just, let's say, a red dot in the middle of a white canvas, differently that if you see a picture of a nude person, for example. Both are the same, considered the same art. They're not in the same area, but they art. And another very interesting example that he gave was about watching a movie, the same movie in two different theaters. One theater was pretty much considered for low income people, and the other one was kind of like a high class, if I can say. And the movie was the same, playing the same, but people, the way they interact with the movie, it was totally different. And the low income one, people were screaming and yelling at the movie, like telling the actor to run away, to, are you kidding me, really, come on, go the other way. But in the other theater, he mentioned that pretty much everybody was quiet, like they were even scared of doing something. So it was the same movie in two different areas, and he got a different connection with the same thing because he was surrounded by different ways. And for me, this chapter was interesting because he taught me how to really look at things, not to really pay attention to the things like looking for details or anything like that, but just pretty much look at the meaning of when I look at things. Why am I looking at this? Why am I looking at this landscape? Why am I looking at this face? Not looking for like I said, when I look at faces, not looking for the details, but pretty much just looking at the person itself. Seeing the characteristics of the person, the type of eyes, the nose, the lips. When I look at the landscapes, look how the light hits the tree, and then that creates a different shape because it hits the shadow hits the floor. So I mean, it helped me in one way to understand that we take for granted our sight, that because we're born with the blessing of be able to look, we take that for granted. We don't look at things in the same way as somebody that without a sight that suddenly will recover the sight will look at things. Or if we see a lot of samples nowadays with technology, colorblind people, when they get those glasses, they make them look colors better. Automatically the first thing they do is to cry, because they're actually seeing things in different ways. So this chapter helped me a lot to understand that. So from now on, I'm gonna try to look at things in a very different way and kind of get a different path from what I'm normally used to. So even when I'm seeing, I need to look a little deeper. So also I would like to conclude with a quote that I found actually online this week that I think it fit perfectly to what I was saying, by Dr. Martin Luther King, that says, "Seeing is not always believing." So I hope you guys enjoy my third video for and this one is for the second week. And I would like to thank my buddy here, Andres, who was helping me today to work the camera better. Andres, tell to everybody in class goodbye.
Bye.
And tell them that you worked really hard with me to make this video possible.
I worked really hard with them to make this video possible.
All right, thank you guys so much.